Water Festival 2013. Approximately 1,600 4th and 5th grade students participated in this educational event at Green River Community College. This was the 14th year that the City of Kent offered this environmental education program to local schools. There were 34 presenters participating this year, including many City of Kent educators. Subjects taught covered a broad range of environmental topics from water quality, habitat protection, to waste reduction and recycling, which all factors into water quality and quantity. Just to highlight a few of the cool things students enjoyed. We are lucky to have the Water Magic Show with Master Magician Stefan.
This jug here is a lot bigger and you can really see the flow of water here. Look. That's the flow of water from a big jug. Now if we run out of water, we'd have to go in search of new water. New water so that we can have clean, fresh, drinkable water. Does that make sense? Yeah. I explained that. You have to have water to live, and therefore we want to conserve our water. Conserve our water so that we have enough water to go around. And that means we have to preserve our water, keep it fresh and drinkable. I'm going to set this empty jug right here so that if anybody sees anybody putting any water in there, you'll let me. How much of that water is actually drinkable water? If this is all of the water on planet Earth, how much is drinkable? Do you know? I'm going to give you a visual picture of it right now. The amount of water that's drinkable is equal to this much. That's why we have to be very careful what we do with our drinkable water, because that's how much is drinkable compared to all of the water. My goodness, thanks! Our aquifer water that we like to drink could turn out to be as slimy and gross and polluted as this. This water has used car oil in it. It has chemicals, pesticides, fertilizers, solvents, paint thinner, and other things we use in our cities. Chemicals. So, who would like to help me clean this water by magic? I can't get everybody at once. So, how about if I choose, how about you? Come on up. Leave your pack and come on up. Right this way. What's your name? Byron? Am I saying that correctly? Byron, my name is Stephyron. Good to meet you. Actually, I changed my name to Stefan. Byron, come right over here. Face the audience. Look straight ahead. Tip your head to the side. Put your arm out sideways. Shoot energy through your arm into the wall. Now bend this elbow. Point your index finger and gently place it in your ear so that we have a closed pump system here, a filter system. Now, Byron, we're going to take this gross, slimy, polluted, filthy, car oil, pesticides, chemicals, fertilizers, solvents, water that got polluted, and we're going to pour it through the filter system to clean it. So, Byron, I place it right in here about, is that too much? You can hold a little bit more, I think. We might not be able to get all of it at once. That's a good amount. Now slowly start pumping. We got to filter the polluted water through Byron and out to where it's clean. So fortunately for Byron, I have this funnel, which will help us collect the polluted water. Pump, Byron, pump. Pump. Tip your head to the side. No, to the side, this side. Elbow in there. It's coming out. Here it comes. We're filtering the water. And if we stop pumping, it stops filtering. Byron, if we were to get a little bit of used car oil on the ground, we'd have to pump all of us all day long to clean it. We'd all have to be human filter systems, and that would be impossible. Good job. And put your hands together like this, Delia, and pray that nothing goes wrong. I'm kidding. Hands on your thighs, Delia. That's right. I'm going to cover you. Cover you this way. Here's her feet. Here's her head. Smile. Right like that. Good, Delia. Delia's balanced on the board, held up by the two chairs. But these days we have to find an amazing, impossible to find balance with our environment. So to show you how we can do the impossible, I'm going to take the chair away. And Delia's balanced here. You guys, this is amazing. I moved the chair over here and she's, whoa! I can't believe it. Delia is balancing better than I thought a person could. I can take the board right out from under her. Delia is balanced on the edge of her chair in midair. Look that way. Smile. I better put this board back before she wakes up and starts giggling. Oh dear. I feel her weight returning. Lift your feet. Oh, good. I can uncover you. You can sit up. Turn to your audience and dive off to your thunderous applause! Loud applause for Delia!
Equally amazing were the critters visiting from Point Defiance Park Zoo.
That's called a prehensile tail. And that does help her to hold tight to tree branches, around a branch and hold tight, and it's very strong. So that kind of anchors her in. If she's flying really high or sitting in a high tree, she would fly down and grab the fish out of the water with her claws. Her claws are very sharp, her feet are very strong. The claws are called talons. So pretty much one squeeze from her talons is enough to kill the fish. But fish are really, really slippery. Sometimes it can be hard to hang on to them. So she has special bumps on the bottoms of her feet that help her to hold on to a fish. Luckily, scientists figured out what was going on, and they did some things to help save the bald eagles. And she was already an adult when she was found in the wild. So she had her white tail and her white head. Bald eagles get that when they're 5 years old. All right, everybody. So this is Buckley. Buckley is an 11-year-old beaver. What I'm going to do with him right now is I'm going to let him come down on the floor. One thing you might notice about his body is his big back feet. They're webbed, and they work like flippers. The webbed feet are what push him through the water as he moves. His tail is what helps him to steer. So you can see that he's got a really big flat tail. The flat tail works like the rudder on a boat to help steer him through the water. So Buckley is a really, really good swimmer. Beavers can hold their breath about 6 minutes. The record is actually around 15 minutes, so they can hold their breath quite a long time.
And also bird friends from the Sarve Raptor Rescue.
What's up with that today? So that kind of, anyway, her third eyelid is kind of like a windshield wiper. And she's giving her flight demonstration now. Obviously, I wish she was free and could go 200 miles an hour, but she refuses to hunt. They've tried everything. The rehab that we got her from down there, they've tried all sorts of stuff to get her to hunt. You know, didn't feed her for several days and monitor her weight, give her live food to chase around, and she didn't want anything to do with it. She refuses to kill anything. She'll only eat it if it's already dead and you give it to her on a little plate. So she's definitely like maybe a conscientious objector. She's not a vegetarian because she doesn't want to eat vegetables. She just wants to eat already dead birds that we get from food suppliers. So the official word for it is called a stoop, where they like shape their body really aerodynamically, you know, kind of tuck their wings in really tight, you know, tuck their wings in and behind them so to make the most of the airflow to be able to go really, really fast. A lot of birds of prey look the same, but basically in the bird of prey world, the girls are going to be bigger and the guys are going to be better looking. So the male probably has slightly brighter coloring and a little bit noticeable features saying, "Hey, I'm a guy, I'm available, I'm looking for a wife." But that's the main differences.
This is a red-tailed hawk, and they're called red-tailed hawks because they got a red tail. Now, actually, red-tailed hawks don't get their red tail until they're about a year old. During their first year of life, when they're juveniles, they got a much more lighter color, like what Kestrel's showing there. Even on their undersides, is a lot more lighter color. Then, once they reach their first year, they start getting their adult plumage. Then they start getting their trademark rusty red tail. Now, red tails are so numerous because they're fairly adaptable birds. They eat a wide range of things, usually small mammals, rats, mice, rabbits, nibbles, stuff like that. They will catch a bird if they can get it, but not really built for catching the birds like the peregrines are. Now, while the falcons may be like the fighter jets of the bird world, hawks would be more like the bombers of the bird world. And quite common, they usually go to like wide open fields, like farm areas, rural areas where there's a lot of farms. And they glide along the fields, and you see them circling above. And they wait for some small little critter to come by, eating whatever, and then they just swoop down and grab it. And red-tailed hawks have actually some of them have even learned that if they stake out on the side of highways, on like the fence posts and power poles next to highways, the cars going by will eventually scare up some small little critter, and they can come down and get it, or even if that critter might even get hit by a car, and they can go down and get it with a minimal effort. That's like fast food. That's like their McDonald's. If the bird gets hit by a car, they lose that battle with the car. And it badly damaged her right wing. We actually had to amputate it. That means cut it off. So, unfortunately, she only has one wing.
There, I could be this close to her without getting bit and a bunch of other stuff. So I have some injuries from her from getting to know her, but we're pretty good now. She'll track some little speck up in the sky that I can barely even see or not even see it at all. And she can probably identify it and know what it is. So she sees really, really well. Anybody have any idea how many feathers she has?
500.
She has about 7,000 feathers. She came to Sarby when she was a baby eaglet. She's from the Olympia area. And she basically fell out of her nest and broke her wing, and it didn't heal properly, so she's not able to fly, which is the main reason that she's not able to be released. And this year she's going to be celebrating her 7th birthday. I'm not sure if Kessel mentioned it. Bald eagles don't get their white head and tail until they're between 4 and 6 years old. So you can see she still has a little bit of dark feathers in her face, and hopefully by this time next year she'll be completely white.
I have a golden eagle's egg. Now there's no chick in there. There's nothing but yolk and stuff. It's just like a chicken egg that you get at the store. But the next bird that I'm going to bring out laid this egg. Hey, how many people can say that before today they saw that golden eagle's egg? That's all right. She's back. Relax. Here we call that shorts. She has pants because she doesn't play in the water. The bald eagle does. Now I'm going to make a lot of comparisons between the golden eagle and the bald eagle. And you're probably going to think, well, why would you do that? Everybody knows what a bald eagle looks like. It's got a smaller head and beak, and then she has those feathers that go all the way down. And so that's the way you're going to be able to tell. Now she's about 12 pounds. That's about all you're going to get. She has huge feet. See, usually what happens is when she wants to eat something, well, she kills it with her feet first. And then there's nobody out there to do that for her if she were out in the wild. And so that is why we have to keep her, which is a shame because she's healthy in every other way. So Huyake here has been with us most of her life. Sometimes people will ask, well, how is it that you can put your head right there close to her beak? Aren't you afraid she's going to pick your eye out? No, it's a trust thing. We have pets. These guys help us get a message out. And that's what they do. And I just want you to know that we do love them, but they're not our pets, just so you know.
There's submerged vegetation, that means stuff that's under the water. There's the emergent vegetation, and that is stuff that is actually attached at the bottom, but it grows through the water and then out the top. There's floating vegetation, so that's things that are attached to the bottom, but then they grow up and they float on the water surface. And then there's trees and shrubs fall into that category as well. So let's just take a quick look. Do we see any trees and shrubs?
Yeah.
So those are all back in here, right? Those are important things in a wetland. They add some structure. Can you remember what this would be called? It's growing in water, but it's growing through the water and out the top. It's okay, it's a big word. Those are called emergence. So let's take a quick look behind us and see if we can find, let's see, what would you call these cattails here? They stabilize the shoreline. They're good for groundwater exchange. They
bugs.
good for peak flood reduction. So what that means is that when there's a lot of water, when it's raining really hard and all that water's coming down and looking for a place to go, it flows into a wetland. And so think about it. Nobody's making rain. Nobody's making water. We have the same water that rained on the dinosaurs. We have the same water that rained on the Romans. We have the same water that rained on everybody. We're not making new water, but it all goes through this water cycle. You guys are familiar with the water cycle. So how would a turtle rear its young in a wetland? Yes?
It would, wetlands have lots of spaces it can hide its eggs, so predators will not be able to reach their eggs.
Excellent, and that is a lot of different, that's a lot of these all at once. So saturation means that all the space in there is filled up with water, so it can't take on any more water. That's an anaerobic process, and that means that it happens without air, without oxygen.
Water Festival 2013 was a huge success. Presentations taught students the importance of clean water and protecting the environment, not just for people, but for creatures sharing our little part of the planet. For more information about the Water Festival, contact Gina Hungerford at 253-856-5549 or email her at ghungerford@kentwa.gov.